Well, my quick ability to try to make room and just jump on something kind of backfired when I realized, oh, wait a minute, this big ass air cleaner. Because I saw pictures of other motors with the original one, it's a straight line, like I had said, and they don't go over this, they go on top of it. This one does appear to be more parallel with the top of the engine. So that could technically be run like that. But the bottom one is right underneath it for the most part. But it looks like I can still do what I want to do. I just got to, bend it a little bit differently. I could probably persuade this and still figure it out without having to, go huge loops around it. Because before they were just on top. If you look at the original type of diesel lines, so and then you can still get it out because it's actually higher, because the top of the motor is here with this air cleaner. So I mean, it can go pretty high, obviously not that high, but if you keep it in line with the upper guy right here, see, I just went a little bit over by putting it on top there. But if I just bend it a little bit, I can make it work. Didn't want that. I didn't realize what was going on apparently. So, out of sight, out of mind, because I had this air cleaner off for so long. But I'll get to fixing it. Oh well, still waiting for parts that are lost in the mail. Now I got USPS on it, so hopefully they'll find it. We'll see. Well, along with my other problems, one of the injectors in the back, I tried to show it on a video the other day, but it was leaking. So I had the injectors, I just changed all 6. The back one, of course, that's the one that was leaking over there. And had a lot of, and it was funny is that I never saw, like, it looked dirty, but I didn't see, like, actual diesel dripping. And I think when I did the timing chain, I spun the motor over by hand, and then it was shooting out. It really wasn't tight into the block, because it's just aluminum heads. You're only supposed to put these at 25 foot-pounds. I learned the hard way when I over-tightened them on my other car. But, it has to be done anyway. I know they're in right now, so if it leaks, then I know that the line is, like has a pinhole in it or something, which is crazy because I never noticed that before, but I have the plenum gasket somewhere. I have no idea. I meant to put the other car, but the other car, actually, I got it apart and put it back together because they had new ones on. And I used right stuff and I put them on with right stuff. And I left the other side dry so I can just lift it up. This one, I don't know. I have an extra line for it, for sure. But I don't want to change it now. I don't think I do. I kind of want to see if it runs and leaks, But I got to jump the tranny lines there and, bleed everything, get it running. So I'm gonna finish putting it back together tomorrow because I don't really know what the vacuum ones are. A lot of them were kind of like blocked off and stuff, But I like to figure that out and get it over with. Like I don't know where the what do you call it? I know it was broken. The line that goes to the heater valve and stuff, I gotta find all that and get a good eye on it and start to think that. The good news is I have the other car outside and I know all that's hooked up right, so I will play with that. I think this one was, that one was just going to the EGR. That one I blocked on both cars, but yeah, that's that line. I gather that was going there, It just didn't seem natural at first. It's really the only thing. And then the other thing is I guess this one here, this, not 100% sure. And I just shoved it in there because I'm pretty sure that one was in there. That black one. Right here. This guy here, I have the hose for that, for this guy, and I guess, does that one really go on there? It seems awfully small, but I guess that's it. I guess that's all it is, really. And there's just one line I gotta fix. I gotta go underneath there. So maybe I will put this back together. It seems pretty straightforward then, I was looking at it from up top and it seemed different. Now I'm looking at it, it seems a little better. a little easier to deal with. So again, I'm not 100% sure about this. I really would love to find the gaskets I have. Then I would probably do it, but I kind of want to save it when I do the injector pump. You know, not that I'm planning on doing it, but you know, if there's no harm, no foul, then screw it. You know, but I changed the injectors. You know, they all did look like the burn wasn't that great. Could have been from the glow plugs not getting an initial hot start, but this is the one that was loose. And the other ones were like clean here, or clean up here, you know. Yeah, some of these are clean. You can see that much was in the head, but it almost is like it's too clean, like it washed off, and then it was dripping up here. It's, you know, the dirt goes up, you know, the fluid goes up, so the dirt goes up, I think. It was firing though, so it just seemed weird. But when I was trying to tighten, at first I tried to tighten it, and I didn't realize that the whole thing was just turning. So I just don't know how much I would really be leaking raw fuel like that. You know, it makes me feel like more there was a speck of dirt on that maybe. But if I just crank it over a few times, it should leak. And if it leaks, then I got to take it off now. I got to do it now, get it out of the way. So that's another reason why I really don't want to put the cruise control back on, because you got to make sure that's good. Order new lines for these. The guy's gonna be really thrilled when I have a. I'm gonna take one off another thing because I kind of fucked that up anyway. So it goes just as well anyway. So live and learn, like I said, and trying to think of some other ways I can, you know, do it, but I pretty much have more room than I thought, you know, because this can be level with the air cleaner, like I was saying. So that's why on a camera, when you see it, somebody's shining down, it looks like they're blocking it off. Like it's hard to get this open, but it really isn't. You kind of have to get it out from behind it, but you know, I'm almost at the point. It'd be better to go around this way, if anything, you know. Then it wouldn't be so bad. Unfortunately, it's not that great of a design, you know. And I was almost wondering, I'm like, these things could have flipped over the other side, you know. I could have maybe let it go out the other side there, because this wire would have fit around here, you know. And it's something I could still consider, but you know, it would be a lot of running around here, and then, you know, I don't know, and then crashing into the other lines. You got the master is not even in yet, you know. So you know, things like that. It's just it's always a headache when you do this stuff. You know, I could technically even bend them both, you know, just all the way out here and then over on this side, or at least one of them, you know, because the skinny one can probably, you know, just cross in the back here. But I don't know. I'll see. Yeah, I'm embarrassed about this. You know, it actually looked good when it was one angle. But oh well. See what happens when you work till 9 o'clock at night on it. Not that I was doing all this, but you know, I take a long time getting ready and getting going, and it's fucking cold. I just ran out of diesel for my heater about 2 hours ago, so I think I've had it. More stuff to do. I gotta pick up the vacuum line because now I made. Oh Jesus! Every time I turn around, something else drops, and I'm not quite sure what it is, and then I'm like, oh no, what did I drop? And I start looking for it, and I'm thinking I see something that I didn't really see. Anywho, so this guy here was connected to this, and it's really tight now. And I made this longer, this guy. I probably made it a little too long, but now I'm sorry, I made this guy longer. So now I made it a little too long because I want to expose that. And you know, I was really contemplating just putting the sensor there and say fuck it, but I gotta have something for the high side. I have something that is weldable, but I think I'm gonna have to put it on this one because I tell you, don't buy the easy clip setup for the, you know, like I did for the Buick. After realizing the number 10, where is it? I bought so many different things. I bought a bag of shit off somebody that had a whole bunch. So when you buy the easy clip thing, you figure, okay, this one has a thing on it, and this one has a clip. This one has a thing. You put one on each part of the compressor, right? So the big one, take it off, I'm like, because that's a high side cap usually when it's that size. But I'm like, not a huge deal, but it's just probably the way they do it. And you take it off low side. Okay, that's what I expected. The big line is the low side. I take off the this other side here, and you can see like it's wider here, and that's wider. Unless I'm drunk. You know what? I might be drunk without even drinking. To me, it looks so tall that it looks like a low side. Because I'm looking at it, I'm like, son of a bitch. It is. Oh, good. I'm glad I took this video because now I look like an idiot. But it's tall, so it looks. I'm like, oh, it's another low side. Oh, that fucking changed everything for this truck. This car. Yeah. So, oh, now I can do something. But I really don't like these easy clips. I ended up buying the crimper and everything, but you can't use. I don't think you could fit these like the reduced barrier stuff onto this. It looks close. Maybe if I lube it, it's just weird. But ultimately, with the Buick, see that? I bought a piece. Like the guy had, it's like brand new stuff that the guy had. But I bought a new line. I'm not gonna. I have a 45 coming, so I'm gonna do a 45 right here. And then I have this line that I bent. Of course, I got shit on top of it. But I ended up going, this thing is a little too long. But ultimately, I wanted to catch it at a 45 and then go up the radiator and then over, you know. So, but going over kind of leads me in a not so great place on the other side of that thing where the support is for the hood, where that hinge thing is for the hood. So it would be good there, but I'm kind of running out of space, and there's heater hoses there, so I really wanted to put it in that place. So I got two other lines coming that are 2 feet long, and I ended up buying the wrong lines. Like this one was right, but the other one I meant to buy I bought a small one like that, like an 18-inch line. I figured 18 inches from there to there. Now I bought a 2-foot one and another 18-inch, but female to female, because I can see this one is female on this side, male to this side, and then I'll have a little, I wanted a little rubber thing, so just so it had something to give, you know, because I just feel that everything could be too rigid and the line could break or something. Probably not, but I wasn't going to make this turn anyway, so this is like a 180 thing, and then I got to dream up with something for this, because like I said, I wanted the connector. Oh, I'm so stoked that this is actually a fucking high side. It's just so weird, you know, like if I held it like this, it looks like a low side one. It doesn't usually look like that. It's usually shorter. So that was kind of weird. And it has that big ass, you know, that style of valve. But I gotta find the guy that hit the floor here. It rolled around somewhere in my mess. Anyway, yeah. So I ended up buying like this hose. And then now I'm wondering if I'm just blind, because I'm like, isn't this a high side hose? And I look at it, I'm like, this looks like a low. No, I'm an idiot. That's a high side. What is wrong with me? What is wrong with me? Now, that being said, I'd have to kind of put the bend there on the compressor and then go in and over and drill a hole through, put one of these rubber guys through, because I thought this was a better thing, but I really want the bend at the condenser here, you know, because it's tight, you know. So I bought something that was a 45, and I don't know why all this shit's keep getting lost or late in the mail. I believe I bought a number 5, you know, thing. It's kind of like one of these guys are like that. This is like a number 10. I figured this would be in the dashboard to make a quick turn, you know. And that way I can put a straight line on and it can still have an angle instead of making it a dedicated angle, because I know there's not much room back there. So this is the tightest I can get, and then it'll be a straight line from there, and then I can do more of a bendy thing in there. I figured I use the easy clip for the inside more now than the outside, except for coming off the thing. But if I do it coming off the compressor, then I kind of, you know, I'm like don't I make this line a certain way? So now, I don't know, do I get a little elbow that goes from there to here, so I can have the valve here and just use this hose? You know, this hose was only $23, already crimped and everything, with these nice, you know, plated steel, you know, ends. So I was debating different things. Like, this is another thing I bought. It's not plated or anything, but it's very high quality piece here with a thing, but it's like 8 feet long. So I figured you can cut it and whatnot. Don't ask me why. I bought the crimper right there, and I got a ton of. I found out all the part numbers. I got reduced barrier and I got standard barrier stuff, and I can crimp it myself. And I'm like, I don't know why I'm trying to find a way to do it without her. I'm buying more hard lines to try to have less rubber. And I'm like, you know, there are people who have hot rods, they have like rubber running all over the place. But I kind of want it to look nicer, like they're more neat, you know? So, sorry for the mess, it really is. Every time I go online, I say that. But, boy, that looked like a low. If you held it a certain way, it looked like a low. And then I realized, wait a minute, that one's thinner than that. So I'm like, I thought they just made it wrong. All right. Well, that's good news. Yeah, I bought this guy by mistake, because I was thinking it was a female to female. I just don't know if the other side female would have to receive an O-ring, not be like this. So I'm not gonna return it. I never return anything. I'll keep extra parts, and then the day I need it, I lose it. And then these guys, they make this kit that I bought with this receiver joy. There's nothing to hold it with, so I got to find a bracket for that, or make something. You know, there's always something with these things. You know, these kits suck. I learned a lot, and I wouldn't nearly spend as much money the next time. You know, this is a number 8 as well, and I was thinking about something like this. If I get the 90, I can run something like that. If it can, you know, I don't know how close. See, it's not going to clear up there, but I also, you know, was thinking about inside for some reason, but I wasn't sure what I was going to do. I was also thinking of like something like that, you know, because I can technically use these two and just put adapters on them, you know, but yeah, something like, you know, down and under, if there's a hole or I make a hole, it's not a lot of room there. I put some foam there, but there really isn't any room, you know. Not that you want the heat to be up to. See, there's a little funny cutout there, you know, like a semicircular cutout, and there's foam that I put behind it. But that would be interesting to put something there, and then it's kind of sitting right there, but it kind of isn't as well. So you don't really have the angle. You have more room at the top here, but it's also kind of funny. You still have a little square hole. You know, it's like maybe this and maybe that. And I don't like leaving, you know, rubber up against metal without a, you know, clamp holding it or something, you know. So, you know, I don't want it to fail. You know, you don't go through all this trouble to make shit and then it fails, you know. So you gotta like over-engineer everything you do when you do this, you know. If you're kind of carbon copying what the stock car is, like the Celebrity here, I was trying to make it better than the car. Like I was trying to overdo it, and I definitely overdid it. But it was my only. It looked pretty good. My only fault was I didn't factor in the size of the air cleaner, which was dumb. I should have thought about it, you know. But oh well, you know, I'll figure something out. And I gotta get new ones coming in the mail. More time. I got 2 big toolboxes coming in the next 2 to 4 weeks from Harbor Freight. I decided to buy 2 smaller toolboxes instead of 1 big one because I gotta start organizing better. This is embarrassing, but it's not even that. I just can't even work like this. I got 1 toolbox that I've had for like 10 years, and I have like shit everywhere though. And it's filled to the gills, and it's fallen over once when I was at my old garage. That thing just fell over. I think that's 44 inches. Or at least 40. And I got 2 44s with 2 side boxes, you know, that bolt on, the half boxes. And they're black, so they take like 4 weeks to order. But I got to get rid of all this shit. I got to make real shelving going across. Don't know if that'll be filmed, maybe before and after, but um, you'll hear some cursing. I sound like a funny guy, and I am, but man, when the car gods get you, you go nuts. You know, I used to be a lot worse though. I used to like throw shit and everything, but oh well. You know, no, I'd like to. I bought this thing, and I'm like, oh, I can really use a rolling cart. You know, I'm like, rolling cart is like buried, and now it's taking up real estate. So what I was thinking is putting that. You know, this is a fucking parts cleaner. You know, I was doing a lot of trainees at one point, but I was heating the fluid, and then the fluid is expensive, and then you really got to, if you use the oil based stuff, you got to rinse it off. I don't have a sink here. I was putting like a horse heater in there and it was working, but it was that other chemical, like the Castrol Super Clean. It actually, fucks up the aluminum and it makes it look all, fucked up, and gray, But I can move these up probably. Not that I'll be able to reach them, but I was thinking of making from the ceiling shelving and having enough for the toolboxes to flip open. I bought the 2 side boxes. I just don't know. I may face them both on the inside or maybe one on the outside here. That way I can actually, reach the compressor if I had to. And then one on the other side here, But I think this one is 40 inches. If this is 40 inches, this almost looks, so I'm going to put like 88 inches plus 2 side boxes that I think are 15 inches each. 15 or 18 inches each, so I gotta think of something. Yeah, I gotta get rid of a lot of shit. That's a brand new top that I have nothing in. I got a fucking toolbox over here, but I figured I'm gonna put this toolbox in this corner, and I'll use it for working on this car. That way I keep tools on this side for this car, and I keep my main tools for my main project on this side. And some of these shelvings are a lot to be desired. I mean, that one's super heavy duty. I got one on each side, but this shit that I bought here, it's really garbage. And this square box here, I'm using it as shelving basically, but I actually, you can see those rings on it, right there. And I hook up a guy wire system, and I have a pulley system, and you see there's a hook up there. And I pull shit. I could put, engines up there if I had to. I got a lot of storage up there, but that's also a mess. And, sometimes it's not easy being a guy that does like everything, like I'll rebuild a transmission, I'll rebuild an engine, I'll do this, I'll do that. And look at this, I have a fucking brake lathe, which, guys were cutting rotors a few years ago. Now, when I moved here, a chain fell off. And it was always funny, the chain would fall off, like the thing was missing parts, it's missing the cover here. And look, the chain is right there. I never put the chain on. That's the only reason why I didn't do it. But it was never really right. So I'm like, oh, I'm going to fix it right. And I never fixed it right. It got buried over here, which kind of seems like a good place if I have enough room. But, between being too cold or too hot and have to carry heavy rotors around the car, I don't think it's practical here, And most of these cars, yeah, you can buy rotors, but some of them you just can't, And that also cuts drums. It cuts both. And it did a very good job. And I bought the adapters to do 8-lug wheels because I own a truck with 8-lug wheels. And guess what? I just had to do my brakes again. And instead of cutting the drums, I didn't even think of rotors. I didn't even think about bringing it somewhere because they want a lot of money. It's just easier to buy another set of Chinese rotors. So I figured the rotor machine may go here, and then hopefully, with these moving out of the way, whatever, I can make something work. I'm even contemplating getting rid of that other shelving unit there and sliding this down, and and same thing with here. I have another one of these 6-foot ones, but not nearly as heavy duty. I have it at my house, and I'm kind of like thinking about bringing it here and maybe putting these smaller ones at my house because I probably don't need something so strong. But these things, I'm like, I got bungee cords holding them. They're not as strong as they said, and it's got these fucking stupid little screws. Where these things here, they all clip together real easy and they hold a ton of weight. But if I got rid of the brake lathe, I'll have another 6 feet over here, so I could put 2 6-footers over here, and then I'll put, both of these on one side, and then do something on this side, whether I make shelving or not. Thing is, the wood gets expensive too now. But a lot of this shit I can't get to. The other thing I was thinking about putting the shelves in the middle and putting the cars over, but obviously the car doesn't line up with the garage door. If I, you know, try to utilize this space for car parking, it doesn't make sense. So you got to have something on either side of the garage. But I mean, it's a big garage for the residential area that I'm in. Um, I built that guy in the corner there. I've had that for fucking 10, 12 years. And it rolls around really easy. I've got nice casters for it. But yeah, that's my mess in my garage. It's just it's tough, man. You close the door and all the mess goes away. But yeah, I just was never an organized person, and this is what happens. But at 47 years old, starting to bug me just a little bit. So I'm thinking of a few things, you know. But I'm one to use you know, a lot of wall space, but I got to be able to get up there as well. You know, like I have to jump up there to get up there, which is fine. But I had to move here from my old place, so everything was real quick. My old place, I insulated all the walls and everything all the way around. Where I just finally this soffit is all broken. I stuffed all the insulation in there, you know. But over here, it's the soffit. It's open, but it's closed. You know, it's closed on the outside, but you know the air leaks in. So it's not nearly as bad as this side was. This was fucking blowing in. You know, so I just shoved all this insulation, every single slat, so the heat would actually do something. My old garage was a 1.5 car garage, and I didn't have a diesel heater. I had that thing, and it was fucking hot as hell because it was insulated. I built I built the whole attic, in fact, that I used for storage. You know, so all right. So that's my story and my justification for my mess. All right, that's it. Have a good night.